The UK government will give you a tax-free wrapper for up to £20,000 of your money every single year. No tax on your growth, no tax on your profits, no tax when you take it out. And yet, less than a quarter of UK adults are using it properly. If you've heard of a stocks and shares ISA, but never actually understood what it is, how it works, or how to open one, this video is going to change that. By the end of the next 10 minutes, you'll know exactly what a stocks and shares ISA is, which platform to open one on, and what to put inside it. No jargon, no waffle, just exactly what you need to know. Let's start at the very beginning. ISA stands for Individual Savings Account. Think of it as a protective wrapper, a container that sits around your investments and shields them from tax. Without an ISA, if your investments grow and you make a profit, HMRC could take a cut. If you earn dividends from shares, HMRC could take a cut. A stocks and shares ISA means none of that happens. Everything inside it grows completely free of UK tax. Now, there are several types of ISA. There's a cash ISA, which is essentially a tax-free savings account. There's a lifetime ISA, which we cover in a separate video. And there's the stocks and shares ISA, which is what we're focusing on today. The key difference between a cash ISA and a stocks and shares ISA is what sits inside it. A cash ISA holds cash. A stocks and shares ISA holds investments, things like shares, funds and bonds, that have the potential to grow significantly over time. Every UK adult gets an ISA allowance of £20,000 per tax year. That resets every April. Use it or lose it. You can't carry it forward. Here's why this actually matters in real numbers. Let's say you invest £200 a month into a stocks and shares ISA over 20 years, assuming average market growth of around 7% per year, which is a reasonable long-term assumption based on historical returns. You'd end up with roughly £104,000. Now, let's say you did the same thing but outside an ISA. Depending on how much you earned and how much your investments grew, you could lose a meaningful chunk of that to capital gains tax and dividend tax along the way. The ISA wrapper costs you nothing, but not using it could cost you thousands. This is why financial advisors consistently say the ISA is one of the most powerful tools available to ordinary UK investors. Not because it's complicated or clever, but because it's simple, free, and almost universally underused. Opening a stocks and shares ISA is simpler than most people expect. You do not need a financial advisor. You do not need a lot of money. You can open one in about 10 minutes on your phone. Here's what you need. You need to be 18 or over. You need to be a UK resident. And you need a national insurance number. That's it. Then you need to choose a platform. This is where people often get stuck. So let's keep it simple. In the UK, the main options for beginners are Vanguard, low fees, very simple, ideal if you want to keep things straightforward. The downside is a limited fund selection. Trading 212, no platform fees, good for beginners, offers fractional shares so you can invest small amounts. Invest Engine, very low fees, good range of ETFs, solid choice for passive investors. Free trade, user-friendly, good for beginners, though some features require a paid plan. For most complete beginners, Vanguard or Trading 212 are the easiest starting points. We'll do a full comparison of UK investing apps in a separate video. Once you've chosen your platform, you create an account, select the stocks and shares ISA option, verify your identity, and you're in. Most platforms let you start with as little as £1. This is the question that stops most people. The ISA is just the wrapper. What you put inside it is the investment. And if you've never invested before, the options can feel overwhelming. Here's the simplest possible starting point for a UK beginner. A global index fund. An index fund is a type of investment that tracks a market index, essentially a collection of companies, automatically, rather than trying to pick individual winning stocks, which is incredibly difficult even for professionals. You're buying a tiny piece of thousands of companies at once. The most popular choice for UK beginners is something like the Vanguard FTSE Global All Cap or the Vanguard Life Strategy 80% Equity Fund. These give you exposure to thousands of companies across the world in a single, low-cost investment. The fees on these funds are typically around 0.2% per year. That means on £1,000 invested, you're paying £2 a year. Compared to actively managed funds that can charge 1% or more, that's a significant difference over time. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need to watch the market. You set up a regular monthly contribution, even £50 or £100 a month, and let compound growth do the work over years and decades. Before we wrap up, here are the 3 mistakes most beginners make with a stocks and shares ISA. Mistake 1, waiting for the right time to invest. There is no right time. The best time to start is now. The second best time is next month. Trying to time the market is a game that even professional investors consistently lose. Mistake 2. Checking it every day. A stocks and shares ISA is a long-term investment. The value will go up and down in the short term. That is completely normal. Checking it daily and panicking when it dips is how people make bad decisions and sell at exactly the wrong moment. Mistake 3. Not using the full allowance. You get £20,000 per tax year. Most people use a fraction of that. Even if you can only contribute £50 or £100 a month, do it. Consistency over time beats lump sums invested sporadically. So to summarise, a stocks and shares ISA is a tax-free wrapper that lets your investments grow without HMRC taking a cut. You get £20,000 of allowance every tax year. You open one on a platform like Vanguard or trading 212 in about 10 minutes. And the simplest thing to put inside it as a beginner is a low-cost global index fund. That's it. No complexity, no catch, just one of the most straightforward wealth building tools available to anyone living in the UK, and one that most people are leaving completely unused. If this video helped you understand your ISA options for the first time, subscribing takes 2 seconds and means you won't miss the next video. We post twice a week on making your money work harder in the UK, and next up we're covering the lifetime ISA, including the government bonus most people don't know they're entitled to.